This lesson we're going to be doing our final code review. And this is where we take the opportunity to play through a game just to make sure that it's functioning as intended. We have a start button, come into the game, press start, we're represented with a bunch of letters, and then we've got our possible solution. So we know the word that we're looking for has 8 characters. So we select any one of the letters to start with, and we see that we get a message back, not found, 8 letters left. So next, let's try something else. We got an L. You found L letter 1 time, 7 letters left. And I think I know what the answer here is. And of course I do, because I set up the wording and it is also my name. So we found C, letter 1 time, 0 letters left. We get our start button again. So we get a next option here. And I have a feeling I know what this one is as well. So usually it's a good idea to play through the game just to make sure that everything is working as intended and that there are no problems with the gameplay. So once you've played through the game, and this last one is course, the game should end. And no more words, the game is completed. So that's a really basic Hangman game that we created. Now let's do a quick run through of the code. Going in, we set up some styling to make it look better, of course. Set up our HTML, so try to keep that as minimal as possible because we did want to focus a lot of the course lessons on JavaScript, of course. So set up a little bit of HTML there. And then we needed to create our variable array with our string values that we wanted to use to output those values for the player. We create a player object to contain information that the player can utilize. Also selecting out all of the elements as objects in JavaScript so they can be used within the code. Then we added an event listener to the button. We only have one button on the page. So that's our start button, clearing out any inner HTML that might already be sitting within those elements 1 and 2. We looped through all of our words that are available within the My Words array. Set the button display to be none. Sorted the My Words array, randomly sorted. Selected out the first item in the array. Set it to a variable, the word. Then we took the word and we split the string into an array so that we had an array with all of the letters that are contained within the word. Next, we built out the board for the player to be able to interact with. And if there were no words left, then we ended the game. The main core function was the building of the board, where we looped through the values within the solution here. So this is that array that we created from the selected word. We created elements, a bunch of divs, added a class of letter 2, set some default inner text to that. Also hid a letter object in the background so we could utilize that. And then appended it to our output element with the class of output2. And then once we added it into our document object, we could use the document query selector all to select all of those into a node list that we can then utilize and loop through to check our solution for the player. We built out all of the available letters using from character code, created divs, added in a class of letter, created a hidden value in a my letter object within the element, and then we created our handler, which was the same function that we would remove out to make it only clickable once. So we added that as an event listener, updated our inner HTML to be representative of the letter within the temp value, and then output it into our output1 object that is indicated by the class of output1 within the elements. And we attached the handler as our click function, which made it easy to remove. So once it's clicked, we could remove the event listener just as easily as we added in the event listener. We added in a class because we want to fade it away a little bit. So this letter is no longer clickable and we want to have something different visually for the player. Set up some default variables that we could utilize in order to output messaging, as well as calculate the win for the player. Loop through all of the available letters in the word. And then if we did find it, we updated it to the right character so that we were slowly representing the solution to the player. We calculated how many letters the player got right in their guess, as well as how many letters they currently have right. We used that value of how many they got currently right within the guess to output a message to the player. And then also we calculated how many letters we have left. And if we don't have any letters left, that means that the players solved our puzzle, and we can show them the start button again. And as well, we put out some messaging to the players so they know what's going on in the game. So this was a quick run through, and I do suggest that you take the source code. It has been provided within the lessons. Try it out for yourself, experiment a little bit, extend on the functionality that we've gone through in the earlier lessons, and build out your own version of this game. Thanks again for taking this section and the lessons of this course.